Standard, and this is Module 16, case study for AEP 858. So, real quick, some facts about the case. We have Mr. Rhodes. He's a new principal at Golden Oak High School. When he was hired, the superintendent, Dr. Newman, confronted him about the attendance problem. It was explained that the policy was aligned with state law, which allowed absences for illness, death in the immediate family, inclement weather, and valid reasons approved by the principal. District has also added a policy of 5 unexcused absences in a class, and a teacher subtracts 10 points from the student's total number of points. It was advised that Mr. Rhodes to work closely with social services and the juvenile court system. Mr. Rhodes began looking at attendance records after the first semester ended, and he identified 5 of the 659 students who had missed more than 10 days. Some more things. So, a little bit about the 5 students. You have Karen, who did well until her junior year, but then work started to diminish. She was having increased absences, and she got married in August. School counselor did not talk to her. Her parents did make calls to the counselor requesting a conference with teachers. She missed 1 or 2 days randomly on Mondays and Fridays, and she failed to take a midterm exam before Christmas. Then you have Tyrone, who was an honor student who missed 14 days, missed mainly because of the parents' travels. Mother wanted to take him to Washington, D.C., and father wanted to take him to Canada. The students are allowed to miss 3 days for personal reasons, but he went over the 3-day threshold pretty quickly. Tyrone's homeroom teacher noted that she would excuse a second week's absence from school. Then you have Christina, a freshman who missed 4 days in a row during 3 different weeks of the first semester. Christina was excused to attend out-of-town church meetings signed by her minister, but no specifics were ever given for these meetings. Homeroom teacher did approve them as excused. Christina's algebra teacher had a copy of a note requesting a conference with parents. She missed 2 major exams. Then you have Carl, who had randomly missed days. He's one of those students that does VOTEC and reg classes. He has been referred to the truant office. Visit was made home. Carl's parents did not support strong attendance. Father stated that his attendance was family business and not controlled by the school. Father also indicates that education is not an important thing. It is noted that Carl does have younger siblings that should be checked on. Uh, then you have John, who is a junior quarterback for the football team, who got an injury. He missed 2 games, and doctor said that he can return to play as long as he did physical therapy, and he could only schedule physical therapy on Tuesdays and Thursdays from noon to 2:30 p.m. And the athletic director also requested that he be excused from Friday afternoon classes to go home to rest during the football season. So he's missing afternoon classes on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is more than half his classes that he's missing throughout the week. Mr. Rhodes believes that the issue needs to be addressed. He believes that all stakeholders need to be involved in correcting the problem. So some legal and ethical issues that arise here. You have students who are missing too much time from the classroom due to truancy issues. Some students might be harmed, but that is unknown due to no one checking up on them, like the young lady who is having these meetings with her minister. It's a little suspicious. And you also have the situation going on with the young lady who got married. The issue does go up against an existing law that students are required to attend school. There was a breach of contract. Teachers are to record attendance, and some did not do it with fidelity, or they made excuses. Also, no one checked in on these students. There's just no protocol that was set up for them. So what exactly happened? So in a nutshell, there is no effective plan or culture to address student constant absenteeism. They do have a plan, but it's not a great plan. So some known facts about the people. You have Mr. Rhodes, who's a new principal, Dr. Newman, who is a superintendent. You have Karen, who's a junior, who is married, and you have with her, you have involved with her parents and her counselor. Then you have sophomore Tyrone, who misses time for family functions. With him, you have his parents and his homeroom teacher. Then you have Christina, who's a freshman, who misses because of meetings with the church minister. And really, the only people you know about is minister and homeroom teacher and an algebra teacher. You have Carl, who's a sophomore, part-time reg, part-time vocational. Not much support from parents to attend. Carl's parents don't see importance of education. Yeah, you have the counselor, you have the quarterback, freshman, the quarterback, John Jr., and you have the athletic director. Some unknown things that I think should be looked at a little bit more. Who is Karen married to? Is it cultural thing? Why did a counselor not talk to her parents, to her or her parents? Why weren't parents given time to talk? Because there was a situation involving where they just didn't allow her parents to talk to teachers. Why did Tyrone's homeroom teacher excuse a second week's absence? Who is Katrina's minister? Do her parents know about these meetings? Why did her homeroom teacher okay this? Why was the algebra teacher unable to get a meeting with parents? Has Carl seen a judge about his truancy? Is there a different therapist that John can see? Was it against school procedure for the AD to excuse him on afternoon classes? So some facts about the place, some known things. Well, you have Golden Oak High School with 965 students, possibly a suburban area. Most families are middle income, some from poverty and some from high income. Population is not really diverse, even though they've had some Hispanic and Asian families that have recently moved into the area. Most parents work for local industry or they manage small businesses. Parents commute 2 hours to work. Some unknown things. Does the increase of different cultures change the dynamics of attendance? What are the attendance figures across economic and cultural spectrum? And how do we bridge the gap? For the unknown and known facts for program, some known things. There's many extracurriculars offered. 11 team sport. Football is very dominant and support is high. There are 31 different clubs, and there's a low turnover rate for teachers. Some unknown things. What is the attendance policy for school activities? Are the teachers being effectively evaluated? How many students are involved in the activities? How does this affect attendance? So stakeholders that are involved in this, the situation can be damaging to stakeholders. If students are not meeting attendance, then the school will get a negative grade on their effectiveness and other parents may move. Also, if they're not doing it, they're not adhering to the law. If the right decision is not made, then the reputation and the school's effectiveness will be affected. All stakeholders have a stake in this. Students because their education won't be as effective, parents because their child is not getting a fair and equal education, and community members because there might be a shift, in support. The problem is known by the superintendent and assumed board members know as well, but not all stakeholders have been shared this information, like other parents or other community members. Yes, I can learn more about the situation. Like, what is the support of the community like? And I think I have enough information to make a decision based off of the information that was presented. So some possible options that we have. We could do nothing. We can conference with each offending student and parent. We can confront negligent staff. We can discuss the data with staff and create an effective plan and try to change the culture. Or we can share the information with the community and just see what happens, see what the support is like. So some pros. Doing nothing. Really, there's no pro for doing nothing. You should never just do nothing in these situations. The attendance issues will continue. Conferencing with students and parents can address each problem individually, might bring to light other issues students are having. Communication helps to bring a plan to action for each student. Confront negligent staff, can come up with an improvement plan, can help with each individual staff member's belief. Discuss the data with staff and create an effective plan and try to change the culture. Staff is involved and has ownership of the plan. A plan is created and a change in culture is made. All student attendance is addressed and not just a select few. Those will be addressed as well. Or sharing information with the community knows what is going on and can participate. So some cons, like I said, doing nothing, the attendance issues continue. Conferencing with student and parents may cause parents to get angry, does not address the issue as a whole school, only individually. Confront negligent staff, only the teachers who have been identified or talked to, perhaps not all the teachers that have not been identified are being talked to on that then. May cause division among staff. And we don't want to cause division, because then once you cause division, then performance suffers. Performance goes down for staff and for students. Discuss the data with staff and create an effective plan and try to change the culture. Staff rejects the ideas, no community input. Share information with community. Nothing guides the discussion, no proposed outline. Community does not care. So the best option, which is kind of combining the last two options that I had, analyze attendance data with staff and stakeholders to create a plan of action and a change in culture. So to implement this, we need to address the cases that, first we need to address the cases that need to be addressed individually, because those 5 students, there's a major problem that is glaring there. So it's up to the principal to work with the parents and try to come up with a plan to help those students. But that's not going to be the main focus of the entire implementation plan. So the next step would be present and analyze data with staff members, and without singling out students, use the examples of the separate issues. The guiding question should be, how do we improve attendance? Staff has discussion in groups and then departments. A goal is created and a culture is focused on. Principal collects the information and brings the same information to stakeholders to analyze and discuss. A new plan is created using the input from staff and stakeholders that address multiple issues, like who has the right to excuse absences, ways to ensure that teachers and staff are handling absenteeism, communication protocol, ways to incentivize attendance, uniform consequences, and appropriate data storage. There needs to be a place to store this data so staff members can go in and look at the data and be able to monitor students and communicate with parents and with administration. Plan and goals are presented to staff to get approval. Plan and goals are presented to the stakeholders at board meeting. When implemented, staff and students will be evaluated and assessed on the attendance. Plan B would be really just to handle each case individually as they come up, which can cause a bigger headache. So standard component 1 that I hit on during this case study, candidate demonstrates capacity to gather, synthesize, and evaluate data to develop and implement management, communication, school level governance, and operation system. I looked at data of why students were missing and the miscommunication and favoritism shown by certain staff members. I understood that those were identified issues, and the issue is more than just a handful of students, but a building issue that should be addressed. Plan was created with the thought of all students in mind. Standard component 2, candidate can evaluate resource needs. The need for an effective attendance policy and cultural shift was identified. The need to have all staff on the same page and stakeholders as well, and the need to have an effective storage of information to ensure that others have access to it. And then the next standard component, number 3, candidate used data ethically and equitably to develop a multi-year school resource plan aligned to the school's goals and priorities. Did not use data to single out students. Data was used to address the whole school's issues with attendance. The superintendent wanted improved attendance, and it is what the community needed. Okay, and there will be evaluation and everything else involved with the with monitoring attendance. Candidate advocates for resources and supportive needs. Collaborative measures for staff. Database to house information to be easily accessed by teachers, and communication development were all the resources that I found to support the needs of students and staff. All right, I want to thank you for watching my case study. Thank you and have a great day.